They can't hear you yet, Damo.
Yes, they can.
No, they can't. No, they can. Can
No,
they?
they can.
They
No,
can
they
hear
can.
you?
They can hear
All
me.
right.
Can they hear you, Tim?
Yes, testing.
Can they hear
Can they
you,
hear you?
Adam?
Bonjour, ça va?
Yeah?
Comment ça va?
All right. So, Damo, what episode are we up to? Because I ask
We're
it
up
every
to
time.
87.
87?
Good number.
Well, it's not 88, but it's 87. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it could be better. It could be 90.
Yeah, could be 90.
What's better than 90, bro?
Fuck,
91.
we're getting close to 100 as well. Holy shit.
Oh, the El Centenary.
Might have to throw another party.
Gonna. Definitely gonna.
Yeah.
So, tonight, we've got some old guests on, some good mates of mine. All right. Adam and Tim. Yeah.
Yo, what's up?
Yeah.
what's
What's going on? So, how are we going to get this ball rolling now?
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you so much for getting me on. Again,
Of course.
You know.
Why wouldn't I?
I've definitely got a lot of people to come on to the
Yeah.
podcast
Well, it's
in
like a
future
fresh face,
episodes.
yeah,
I've sent you a couple of people now, but there's definitely more people around to do. But so I really appreciate being back. I think it's good to have Adam back too because he left
Yeah.
so much stuff out of his last podcast.
How long
no
did we
shit.
go for? I forgot about that.
I think we were like hour
we probably-
and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit. Hour and 40.
But we just
Yeah.
rambled on, just talked about everything
Well,
else.
that's it. And like, you know, I'm a lot more awake than I was fucking last time, so
Yeah.
there is that.
Yeah, don't mess with these two when they haven't had much sleep and they're
That's
like
it.
they're both just like yeah, you know.
Just a zombie, yeah.
So yeah, I was preparing for it and I thought
Thank you
I thought I'd
for
just
preparing for
I
it.
thought I'd just quickly write down some of the places I've played in between the last time we were on,
Yeah.
and this is all that I've remembered.
How long? When did
It was
I
about a
think-
year ago,
It was
I
about-
think,
Yeah.
about 8-10 months ago, right?
Damn, can you have a look? if
So I was,
that's all right?
so I was just jotting on my note, but I was like, oh, it'd be cool, like just for my own sake. I was like, oh, what have I done since the last thing? And I thought, oh, you know, you're always really hard on yourself. I'm like, oh, I haven't really done too much.
Don't say that. You've probably done heaps.
But yeah, so I'll list them.
Looks like heaps right there.
I'll list it off.
Yeah.
So yeah, did the Brass Monkey, did Universal Bar with Adam upstairs at one point when because he's got a residency there.
Yeah.
I did the Old Values at WAP, which is that iconic truck.
Old Values? Whereabouts? is
Yeah,
that? It's in
you know where
Subiaco.
Cheek used to be?
Yeah.
In Subiaco on
Yeah,
Rockaby
yeah.
Road there. Yeah, I got to play there, which was really awesome.
Is that what it's called? Old Values is cheek.
Old Values, yeah.
Ah.
I think they've tried to remarket it that many times.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I'm not surprised about that. Yeah.
About a year, literally a year ago, July 30th, 2020. That was the day that we had
Tim
Preston on.
And what
yeah.
about 4UK? What about Adam?
it was like
Let's have a look at that.
2-3 months ago.
About two.
Yeah, a couple months ago.
So yeah,
Time
that was really cool because I went to the venue.
Mhm.
I saw that cutout truck. It's an iconic venue, as you know, back in the day, Cheek and everything like that.
Mm.
And I'm sitting there. I go out in my night randomly on a Wednesday night. I've been back for like I don't know how long from Melbourne or whatever. I'm gonna go out on my own, like you know, whatever. And I looked at that truck. I'm like, I really want to play there. And then it ended up happening. So that was awesome.
Tick that off your bucket list, kind of thing.
Yeah, and then so I did the Breakwater, did Bar One nightclub, first time playing there, and
You played
probably
a breakwater. What?
will return there. That was upstairs in that new
New area.
new area. Yeah.
Was that part of a function or a birthday? Or was
It was a function,
Okay,
but
yeah.
it's a start of, you know, getting
getting
into
there.
a venue, you know what I mean?
It's owned by Capital Corp, so you got to get in that crew.
Yeah, exactly, which is something that I've learned while being here. Like, that those guys are guns in Perth, aren't they, you know?
They have a lot under their belt.
And then I did, obviously, Motive Perth, thanks to Harley and Emily.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
Yep.
Emily
Which
does
is
a
really
lot of
which is
work.
really good because I got to play Bass House. And remember we spoke about Bass House being a thing?
Yeah.
And now Boston Switch is going on a tour with his new Bass House single.
Yeah.
Playing in Geraldton and everything like that. I went to uni with him. Super proud of you. Shout out to you, mate.
You went to uni with Boston Switch?
Yeah, actually, there was a really good moment where we were standing on the beach and we looked out to sets on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And we hadn't played at a festival yet. And Boston Switch, Blake said to me, he goes, look out there. Look at that beach. Look at that stage. And I'm like, what am I looking at this for?
The stage, yeah.
And he goes, that's going to be us. We're gonna be up there. We're going to get there. You know, and I think I played at a drum and bass variation of the sets on the beach. So I still technically did, but, you know, went on to play festival stuff. So he wasn't wrong. It was really good of him to, like, do that. And
Well,
it's good to
that's
see
it.
him killing it now, too. And especially with Bass House. Not quite there yet, but there are people out there pushing that sound. So
Yeah.
I wasn't completely wrong with that prediction either. So I did Other Dark Fremantle, did the Wham Fest at Sewing Room with Bluntfield. The Mad Out West tour at Settlers Tavern. So I went out to
Settlers Tavern, that's down Barnes,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
No
So that was
shit.
that was really fun.
Was it busy? Like, did you go?
It was
Adam?
no, because he was booked.
I was booked.
Yeah.
booked out.
Yeah.
My
That would've
schedule's
been-
fucking hectic at the moment.
Yeah, well, good. But yeah, go on.
So that was good, and then I did a wedding charity ball to get the ball rolling with Sonic Entertainment. So they actually helped me get back into the mobile path to get private functions and stuff again, and that was a massive one because I had a Channel 7 news presenter there. I can't remember her name, but
Fuck yeah, that's all right.
I also did an Unstoppable Women's Day function. So Mark McGowan's number 2 was there.
Number 2. What?
As in his assistant.
Oh, his
Like his
assistant.
second in charge was
No
there.
shit, okay,
and
that's
she did a
pretty-
speech and stuff like that. That was really cool. I mean, it was good to get involved with like
Yeah, be a part of
being
it.
a man, but like in, letting the women do their thing and having like a good place where they can all come and talk about issues and believe in each other and stuff. That was
That's it,
really
yeah.
positive, And then we did the street eats together.
Yeah, Street Eats was mad.
The street.
So we were running a Sunday session on a street
Oh,
eats.
I remember you guys telling me about that. That was in Yagan Square.
Yagan
wasn't it?
Square, yeah.
So,
So-
it was like, so basically DJs and then hip hop acts come in and then a freestyle cipher at the very end.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
it was like super chill, like relaxed vibes. Like,
Is that
yeah.
on Facebook as well? Can we pull that up?
You can pull street eats up.
Surely there'll be a
But-
video of you
but-
guys or something.
Yeah, no, this we do have a lot of
stories.
content sitting there waiting because what happened was we came in towards as we were coming into winter.
Mhm.
So we just
It's
like
definitely a summer venue.
so we're waiting for basically the new season to start, which will be spring, and then we'll probably pretty much be there every Sunday doing the Sunday sessions again because they're really keen to get us back. But of course, with the rain and all the COVID restrictions and everything like that,
Yeah. It's
Um,
too hard at the
Just
moment.
postponed it
Yeah.
until
so
we can
it'll probably
get
be a
back in
series we run from spring until it starts getting quite cold, and then we just sort of rotate it through the spring summer period each year.
Yep.
That's probably what we'll do with the
No,
street
it
eats.
sounds really good. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's the thing as well. Like these storms and this weather recently is fucking insane, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
well, I mean, so I actually wanted to do this as well. If anyone from Melbourne's watching or Sydney and stuff like that, shout out to you guys because fucking you've just got announced another lockdown. So we're
shit,
all
poor Sydney.
yeah.
Poor Melbourne. Right.
So we're all
Yeah.
feeling for you. I don't. Sometimes I'll be in the shops or something, walking around, just doing shopping or something like that, and I have flashbacks to when we were shopping in masks and we were in a lockdown. And I think because on my Facebook feed, obviously I've got so many people from over east, so as you're consuming that social media, that the pressure and the everyone else going through shit sort of reflects onto you because you feel their pain in a way,
That's it, yeah.
So shout outs to all those guys, and I'm sure you'll get through it. I think they just opened up the country there, so the country towns are going off.
Yeah,
What
no,
were you
it was
gonna say,
super crazy because like just before Tim moved over, it was it was starting to happen over in like China and then Europe and then America, and then I'm sitting on the phone to Tim just saying like let's like move over here, like it's fucking popping, like there's so much so many gigs like
Well, we did a country gig not too long ago. It was we just come out of the restriction. No, the restrictions were still on. We weren't in a lockdown, but masks were compulsory.
yeah.
But because we went out to the country and played at a football club,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no one
it was like we were going to an island or something that just didn't exist in time. Like,
Yeah.
there
And, like,
was no mask.
Yeah, the police
at
rocked up
all.
and had a party with us, and,
Yeah.
and everything. Like,
It was
What kind of
massive.
party was that? That's sick.
Yeah, we actually got some pretty good videos. I should have sent them to you with the other pictures, but because Adam got to test out his full setup,
Yeah,
like his full
full-
rig and
full
everything
rig.
like that,
Oh.
and it was just pumping. Like,
What's your full rig? What have you got?
so I've got like this massive 3-meter lighting truss with a whole bunch of moving heads, and yeah, like,
So like sticks up in like a T-pole kind of thing.
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And like that's also extendable on the sides as well. So yeah, I got to test out the lighting rig. And
That's the
speakers rig.
that's the lights you showed me, right?
Yeah.
I remember seeing the photos. Yeah, actually, yeah.
So,
But like speakers as well, like
speakers
yeah,
are
that's right.
coming.
We did show you the
Speakers-
photos. Remember, because there's a base face photo of me.
Yeah,
Remember,
that's
and you're
it,
like,
yeah.
look at this. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
it's like, look at
yeah,
Tim. Yeah.
speaker upgrades are coming with in the near future. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully I
speakers are so
have
expensive.
that rave rig with the stuff kind of that we've got planned as far as like new club nights and
And Adam's actually doing. Do you want to announce it? Are you allowed to announce it?
I
The
don't know yet.
BS
Oh, shit.
thing.
Got an exclusive.
I don't know.
Can you talk
No.
about how you're doing that?
Not yet.
Not yet. No.
no.
Okay. Damn it.
Not yet.
No,
Yeah.
that's in a couple of like.
Well, basically, I can probably say it like this: he's doing a lot of his lighting rig. You know, when you're a DJ. Actually, this is good. We were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, when you buy your equipment, and a lot of guys will buy their equipment, and then they might lose interest and sell it or whatever. And when you buy it, you think that you might just be like everyone else, and like you'll buy it and you'll end up selling it or whatever. But like a lot of the time, especially
Yeah.
probably for you and probably for you guys, it's like every time you buy it. And you work hard and you practice or whatever, that money comes back in the form of, when you get booked as a
Gigs and
DJ, you're not
everything,
just
yeah.
getting booked for your DJ, you're getting booked for the equipment that you have as well.
That's it,
Like
yeah.
you get that money
Your
back.
stock starts
That's
rising.
it.
You know?
And it's crazy because it starts with one deck.
Yeah.
And then you do something like Adam, you go buy all these insane speakers, insane lights, insane lighting rig. it takes a little bit of time to get the money coming through, but eventually he's starting to get extra money now for the hiring of that equipment. It's just nice to invest in yourself and then have it pay out.
I did the exact same thing as well. I wanted to get into weddings and birthdays and shit, so I went out and bought extremely good speakers, and then now they've paid them back. I'm hacky, kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is the way to do it. You have to invest to get something out of it. And that feeling,
100%.
as you said, when you get the money back, you're like, yeah, still worth it. Don't
Yeah.
sell it.
No, I won't be selling it. Like, to be honest, I like every piece of equipment that I've ever bought, I still have.
Yeah.
Like from, you know, when
I even
bought
Yeah, I
my stuff
remember
in
you
the
saying that
90s,
on the
I still-
podcast, actually.
Yeah,
you
I
still
still
got
have everything.
You got 100s, don't you?
Yeah, still got 100s in the in the case. It's
Yes.
propping up one of my.
Because
speakers.
it's been over just over 10 years that we've been DJing together now.
Fucking 10 years, really.
Yeah, and the first party, one of my CDs didn't have a quarter. CDJs, I had CDJ 200 and didn't have a quarter, something like that.
Yeah.
So I remember he brought the CDJ 100s,
Yeah.
and I'd been using the 200s, and I was like, "How the fuck are you mixing on this?" Like, it is
200s. What the fuck?
CDJ. It was an upgrade of the 100s, but they're a lot easier to use than. But then if you look at DJs today, if you made them go and mix on even a 100s or a 200s, I think they'd be pretty.
Everyone would
stuck.
struggle with that.
You know.
So what's the main difference between a 100 and a 200?
The 200 had the effects on the top there. See those three buttons there?
That looks a lot.
I actually really like. I actually missed the jet effect. Bring back the jet effect, Pioneer. Come on.
What, have they taken the jet?
Because they used to go.
Yeah, so like you use,
As you
use
turn
the
the,
jog
like-
well, so you use the jog well obviously to adjust your BPM, but as soon as you hit any of those top effects, that the jog wheel became the controller of that. So like it was like a layered effect rather than a
No, that's fucking sick.
But so the difference between them is the loop function as well. So that wasn't on the 100s either. But yeah, and the display has been a whole bunch of other stuff that was
But yeah, he brings me those, and it's just to use, and I'm just like, it's just great. I'm like, and it's only one small little upgrade, but it just goes to show how much technology comes from one to the other, eh?
That's it, yeah.
You know?
That's exactly it. Like last 10 years, 20 years, like shit's gone through the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the XR2's a freaking amazing little unit, you know, like that's pretty much what I'm mixing on
The
all the
XR2.
time. Yeah, the Pioneer.
Oh, yeah, the-
DJ XR2, the single unit.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking about the lights before, about what did you say? You've always kept all your stuff. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what's funny is because like I was obviously starting to get my bookings coming through with my functions and stuff like that. So I needed some lights, and Adam sold me his old lights. And when he sold me his old lights, he says to me, he goes, "Good luck. These have lasted for me for how long did you say they lasted?"
Almost like 16 years or something. And these were bought secondhand as well. So they already had a life before before
So
I
he-
got
And they're
them.
still working?
They're still working. So he's pretty much like, if they break, he's like, "I'll fucking shake your hand." Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's the way
go
to
and
do it.
try and break them because they've been going for that long. And that's
Yeah,
what I say to
and-
like when people are helping me carry the lights and stuff like that. They're like being very, very careful. I'm like, no, just go rough. I go, if you
Don't
break
worry,
them, then I could just buy another pair and ride it off the tack.
Yeah.
I'll actually be proud if you break them. These things just keep going, and they still are going really
The
well
thing
for
is
me.
with
So
those lights, they're old school, so they're glass and bulb, not LEDs. So
Okay. So you
they've
just
got-
replace the bulb,
Yeah,
right?
and their motors. Yeah, and so the motors are like, you know, still cranking. You know, you got to polish the mirrors and stuff to.
Do you ever
they can
oil
go-
them up or anything? Like WD-40 or anything?
No, not at all. So,
So what does it look like? The T-bar, is it just the T-bar or the lights?
what have
Oh,
got-
that's the one that, yeah, that's the, I mean, he's got way more than that. I mean, sometimes you don't even bring the T-bar because you've got so much on the other rig, but
yeah. Yeah, so I've got like a small gig bar that, you know, gets me by for you know, smaller sort of intimate places, but yeah, I've pretty much got a full system ready to go for warehouse and raves.
Kind of like that? No?
what?
No, there'd be
No.
LEDs, right?
that's more like film set lights, yeah.
Yeah, they're more
The
film. yeah.
lights that, well, you're talking about the lights we are just talking about, the ones that I sold Tim. It'll be like Tango DJ lights.
Tango DJ
You just
lights.
like type in Tango DJ light.
Because see, that's the thing as well. Every time I do a wedding or anything, I just have like a T-bar behind me, but
Yeah.
it's only got
Yeah,
four.
so that
yeah,
one
it's
there,
like
that
4
thing-
in the third.
Yeah, so like really
Yeah, that
old
thing.
school disco lights.
So that one always goes underneath. I always put that one, like, you know how you said you have the T-bar behind you?
Yeah.
I have that one underneath the desk, shooting out on the floor, across the floor and that.
Okay.
Yeah,
That would be
because you can
really good,
angle that,
actually.
like, you know what I mean? You know how you angle that one with the little stand and you sort of, yeah.
That thing's like heavy as.
But it's really heavy, but
It's like about this big.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
But we're kind of lucky
But-
now that we have like LEDs and it's everything so compact and lightweight. It's a lot easier to travel around.
yeah, but they're all still doing the trick for me, you know?
Yeah.
So,
So what else was on your list then as well?
Oh, okay. The other thing, the last thing was the Peel Thunder home ground. I got to play there as well.
The
That was,
Peel Thunder home ground.
yeah.
Where's that?
Mandurah?
Andrew?
Yeah.
Okay. You
In the
look
Peel
that up as well?
region.
I've never really heard
Yeah,
of
actually
that.
look it up because you know what? If anyone here is ever looking for someone to hold a birthday or a function in summer, it'd be really nice. There's outdoor courtyard. I wonder if it'll show you the actual. It won't show you. There's a name for it. But there's like,
David Gray's Arena.
yeah. So there's a spot like not next to the stands that has the outside area and bar and everything like that. So it's like a different function space than the actual thing. But like you're sort of facing the ground. It's really nice. Yeah.
Does look alright though. Does
Yeah. It's really beautiful just having that as the backdrop.
About that, or...
Yeah, because that's like Tompkins on the Swan in a way.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of? You guys been there? It's near. It's in South. Well, no, it's actually just down the road from here. Look up Tompkins on the Swan. It's not
It's
like
amazing as a DJ, like when you go and do all these different functions and weddings
the
and
places
everywhere.
you go, right?
The places you go, the
And
things you see, and like,
that's it, yeah.
and you're like, wow,
I
this is
love it.
here, and like you get all these ideas for like where you're gonna hold your next party or whatever. But like, it's just there's a good amount of spaces to be used. Like
some of the parties that we've been to, like we get
Tompkins, Tompkins.
yeah, some of the parties, like we'll go out to what we're at Kalamunda. Where was that one in the with
Dwelling Up. We went to Dwelling Up
Rolling up
for a
as well.
Bucks party. We get there. There's a jumping castle.
Oh, Bunking Bull, Jumping
Bucking
Castle,
Bull.
No
and-
shit.
Yeah.
Guy's Irish. He's like, oh yeah, if you want to stay the night, you can stay the night, lads. Do whatever you want to. It's your favorite. Play some techno, whatever. Good, mate.
That's sick.
You gotta keep it partying all night. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Just keep the party going.
Yeah.
Like,
And I can do the Irish accent because I've got Irish family, so leave me alone.
But like with that party, like did it go off?
Yeah,
Like,
it was really- it was
majority
really-
people
it was
are Irish.
really,
and
really
Scottish and
awesome,
shit,
yeah.
so,
It was mental.
It was early for me working for Perth DJ Hire, and like obviously now I'm at the stage where, well, both me and Adam are at the stage now where we're booked out for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
And
Look
that's-
outside though, Dan.
I've
As
got-
well.
That's between private functions, clubs, hip hop, running your own clubs,
Clubs,
just everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like I've done a gig here for a cricket game, and also like cricket after.
Yeah, nice. This is the kind of style of what
And
I'm talking about.
on
Those
the-
kind of areas that are just really unique.
On the left-hand side, there's actually a balcony,
Yeah.
and so I just got to play on this balcony. You just see everything: the sunset, the river, the city, everything, just in the backdrop.
Yeah.
So
Quite a nice
fucking
venue.
cool.
Do you
Such
guys
cool
do you guys know Channel 10 sports presenter Lockie Reed?
Lucky Red.
Yeah, he does the news, Channel 10 sports news. He used to do
no.
the Western Front. He used to put up the W.
No, not really.
He was at a function that I was at last week, and he was doing the cha-cha-cha and everything. It was awesome,
Really?
you know. And then I see him on the news and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's not a photo, but yeah, I see him on the news. Like you see him on the news, it's just like funny because even one of the Channel 10 presenters I used to work with, so it's just like I'm watching Channel 10 news. I'm like, I know all these people. What the hell?
I've met that bloke
Yeah.
before. But
No,
that's just-
but honestly, it was one of those nights, you know, when you're DJing and you're really putting your heart into it, really trying to make sure everyone has a good night, and then you actually connect with people. Like you might look, they're not like right next to the deck, so like out in the crowd just enjoying themselves, and they look at you and you meet eyes, and you just go, you can just tell that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
You know?
100%.
You just-
100%. Yeah.
They're like vibing with you, but not the way that they're gonna like come up and hassle you or anything. They're just like looking at you and just like saying, "I like what you're doing. I'm having a good night." But it's just literally just like one look. Like it's like a stare that lasts a little bit longer than 2 seconds, where it's just like a respect, like kind of like a nod that's like, "Yeah, you're doing
It's
well."
pretty funny because I played at Scarborough Beach Bar last week Saturday, right?
Yeah.
And then basically there's like where you play, there's like a little seating area out behind you kind of thing. And I just noticed there's like 2 blokes looking at me, so like look back and
Yeah.
like, okay.
And they just gave you the nod, didn't
No,
they?
they just kept doing that thing right. But then when they were leaving, the old bloke that was with him literally came in, shook my hand, and was like, "You're the only DJ that I know that plays Pink Floyd." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. Like, cheers for that." But it's
Actually, that's
just
probably a
kind
good
of
segue. Do you want to talk about
Yeah, sure.
requests?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
when that happened, I was just like, cheers, thank you. Like, you were literally sitting right there behind me, watching me do my grooves. Like,
Yeah, because 100%, like with requests and stuff, like it's a part of your job.
It
It is,
is, right?
You know, and
That's-
like obviously it might not fit at that time of the night, but you can either fit it in later in the night. You know.
that's it. And that's one thing that I like, and I've always been a Windows supporter, but then I actually got a MacBook Pro, and then I'm like, okay, so I can actually turn the Wi-Fi on, hotspot my phone, open iTunes, buy the song,
Yeah.
then
Yes.
put it into Tractor,
Yes.
analyze it,
Yeah.
and play it for them.
Yeah.
So like, depending on the gig, I might buy 5 songs kind of thing. I don't ever try and, buy 10, 15 or anything, but I'll buy like 5 max.
Yeah.
But when someone actually comes up and requests and you just look through it, like I'll pull them up and be like, no, I don't have it, but I'll buy it for you.
Yeah.
That look on their face, and like, he's actually going to buy this song. Like, fuck yeah, like kind of thing.
Like, as long as you let, say, you know, the person know, like even with like private gigs and weddings, you know, they'll come up and like, oh, do you have this song? And you're like, either say yes or no, or you know, oh, it's coming up. But yeah, if you say I don't know if you have it, and you kind of like scrolling through the mountains of music that you do have. And then, you know, later on the night, they've forgotten that they've requested, and all of a sudden it comes on. It makes their night, and it reboosts and energizes parts of the party that.
That's
you know,
exactly it. And that's the thing is like sometimes that's the way to do it. Is you just say, "Oh no, I don't have it," or like, "Oh, I have to buy it," or this or that.
Or have a
but
look,
they bugger off for like 2 hours or whatever, and then you play it, and they're like, "This is mine. I requested this."
Yeah, because I mean, it's your job to. Like, obviously, not every request can be played, but it's your job to fit it into the night, and it's just like I think DJs get offended when it happens. The way I see it is your job hasn't started until people start almost participating. It validates you. It's the reason that you're there. Now, obviously, the club sets are a little bit different, but having this whole attitude of I'm not going to take requests, especially like I was going to ask you guys, you know, where you started, like your motivation to become a DJ. For me, I mean, we were all that requester. We were all that guy who was like, and you know what it is? It's like, oh, it's not like we don't like the songs you're playing. It's like I know what would really like fit into this and. They're on that vibe with you. That's all it means. They're on that vibe with you, and you're going to be rude to them and shut them down or whatever.
Yeah, and that's how that's how shit gets damaged, or people just don't respect you, or they just don't come back. Like I've said this on the last 2 episodes, where it's like, you know, if someone comes to your venue, right, and they don't have a good time, it's like 20% chance it's like 10% chance they're going to come back because they go to a venue. They go, I had a bad time there. I'm not going there. But if they have a good time. It's like 75% chance almost. They'll go back and like, well, they'll walk past me like, I had a good time in there. Let's go in and hang out. Yeah. Oh, he's still DJing. Let's go talk to him. Let's do this. Let's do that. It's because that's the thing is our job is literally like being the eyes and the ears of the venue in a way. Yeah. You know, someone gets in trouble, something happens, a fight breaks out. You're in the corner and you can see the whole lot. And then on top of that, it's just being like, you know, being a liaison for the customers. Yeah. Just being a nice person and going, I don't have your song, but what about this song? Or what about that?
I have something. I got another song by the same artist.
That's it.
And every now and then, there's a request in there that's gold, like a collection, as a request that you don't have in your collection that you're underrated, undervalued, or you haven't heard in a while, and all of a sudden it becomes a part of your set. You know?
Right. Here's a good question for you guys. What was the last song you bought? Right, that was actually like, it's gold, but the thing is, it's not gold, but it's like you kind of need it as a DJ.
Oh, that's a good question.
For me, it was Spice Girls. I've never owned any of the Spice Girls. I had a girl come up to me. Yeah. Why don't you have this song? I'm like, fuck. Like,
I'll tell you what song I don't have in my collection is WAP.
Wow.
Yeah, I should have.
But then you've done a
remix. He plays our mashup. I play our mashup too at parties. Actually, to be honest, that is a staple in our party sets. Like it always goes off.
Yeah, so I have.
And you just let a couple of people know, hey, I'll mash this up, and then all of a sudden they're just like, I mean, they love Tour and. They love WAP, and it's like you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It's kind of a meme, but it works. That's the thing. If it works, it works. It doesn't matter how hard or easy it is, you know?
Yeah, there's one song that I don't actually have that I need to get. I've got pretty much everything else by, you know, Cardi B, but there's just one that I haven't picked up.
Well, see, I just recently bought Up by her as well.
It's a good one.
And then you play that and about, and I just see girls go like, and I was like, okay, they're getting down to
I've got
it. That. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, I bought that Christina Aguilera track with Beyonce and Spice Girls or whatever it is. And it was just like when I played it, it's like a whole group of girls got up and started dancing. I'm just thinking like, why didn't I buy this 2 years ago?
I'll tell you what's a nice little secret one is S Club 7.
That's what I mean, right?
I was like, I got a request. I was like, oh yeah, maybe, and then I like threw it in, and then all of a sudden it just was.
That's how I felt about Venga Boys as well. Like,
literally.
Originally, I was like, I'm not playing Venga Boys. Fuck that. And then I actually played. You know, We Like to Party, and everybody.
Yeah, that one always goes off. That's a staple for me.
Same thing with Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah, there's literally a playlist that I'm gonna make. That's like pretty much like everyone's drunk. Playlist, and it's just like all those songs you just mentioned: Spice Girls, Backstreet Boys.
Well, that's the other thing as well.
Cotton Eye Joe, just like I just want to make this playlist. It's like, you know, when everyone's at that moment where they're like singing along, they've already like past the point of dancing. Like they're in the party's officially underway. Yeah, and everyone's starting to get smashed. You literally could just go through all that cheesy stuff, and they'll just.
Well, that's exactly it. And that's the thing that I've always wanted, because, you know, at the end of the day, we have to read the crowd kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But if you please the girls, the boys will follow. The girls like to dance. The girls like to get up and look pretty and do this and do that and everything. But the guys will go, she's pretty. I want to go dance with her.
Yeah, the guys
Yeah.
will follow
Guys
the
don't
dance
go
style.
dancing. Like guys don't dance
I
at
do.
all.
My one to try and get the
I do
guys
as well.
lately.
I do.
My one to try and get the guys lately is Eagles Rock. Eagle
Yeah,
Rock.
oh, but do they dack themselves though?
Yes, I was gonna ask
Yeah.
that.
What
What the?
is going
What
on?
is
I know,
it?
I did
Every
that-
time I play Eagles Rock, people get their tits out and take their pants off, and
I know. I don't
Like-
get it either.
strange.
It is
I mean, I would
so
understand
whack.
if it was you can leave your hat on. Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
But why Eagle Rock?
Yeah.
You used to play at the West Coast games. Does everyone get naked after the West Coast
No,
games?
they
Is that
never.
how we do
No,
it? Or
That's it. But that's it. Like I don't know where it came from, but I did that. It's like a couple of years ago. I bloody party bus rocked up to the Flying Scotsman, and I played. They kept requesting Eagle Rock. I'm like, okay, I played it, and there's like 15 kids just dack themselves. I'm like,
is it a Perth thing? Or
I
I'd be interested to hear anyone out.
We got it.
We got it?
Aussie Rock, the Aussie rock legend Ross Wilson reveals the origin of one of our most bizarre musical traditions.
Okay, here we go. I
Rude
didn't know about this.
Rude.
What does it say? Does it say it started at a concert?
How long has it been going for?
Eagle Drop, it's called.
It's called
The Eagle Drop.
And when did it start? It said
Fucking Eagle Drop.
it started in the 1990s.
Yeah.
And what happened was
Fuck.
So they've been
30
doing it
years
as long
ago.
as we've been alive. All right.
Yeah. I never would have guessed that. I literally thought it was like the last 2 years, 3, 4 years, or something like that. Maximum.
I mean, the other one that
Well, they
you
bring
probably
it
know
back.
that I'm going to bring up next is when they do
Go on.
what is it? Am I ever gonna see
Oh,
your
Angels,
face again?
No,
Get
yeah,
fuck off.
Yeah.
Wait, can we?
Then legit, man, sat there.
Yeah.
Wait, get fuck off.
Yeah. So they're
But that's a
two.
classic,
They're
though.
they're two weird ones, aren't they?
Yeah,
Like,
it's because of the Eagle Drop. So you gotta drop your dacks.
yeah.
But see, I'd love that Angels. Am I ever going to see your face again?
Yeah.
Like when you get a whole crowd, you don't even have to turn it down. You just hear them shout it out. You're like, yes,
Yeah.
I'm doing my job right.
Yeah, and that touches on the idea of requests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's your job to like put them in order and stuff like that.
That's
and there's a
it.
lot of club DJs who like have like no requests and like they like embrace this no request. To me, that says I don't want my audience to be on my vibe with me or
But it depends on the club.
yeah,
It
exactly.
depends
If you're in a
there's
club
definitely
and if you're
venue.
playing a genre set, I mean,
Yeah.
then you don't obviously take requests. But to like make that a thing, that's just like instantly like
Cutting you
not
off
including people.
to
That's
growth.
it.
Like,
Shouldn't it be
that's
about
exactly
including
it.
people? I don't know.
Well, that's
Sorry,
exactly
but you know,
that's exactly what Adam said though. It cuts your growth off.
Yeah, it
because
cuts your growth off.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and also it's just like those ideas of mixing. Like, you may have like either you might get stagnant in your sets. You've been playing the same block of music in all different ways, and then someone comes along and requests something, and then you fit it in, and then all of a sudden you're engaged and challenged to actually fit a song that you don't usually play into your sets. Like,
Yeah.
why
It's-
would you not?
It's
like,
crazy. Someone is passionate about music, wants to share their passion of music with you. You're a DJ, and then some of them will just go and be rude to them and just tell them. And you know what the worst thing is I know a lot of people do it because when I go out to gigs now, and you guys probably experience this too, there's people out there that are used to DJs treating them like shit.
Yeah.
And they instantly come up to you
And you can
with a
tell.
mindset they've been scarred by another guy
Yeah.
who hasn't even talked to them or just shut them down.
Yeah, it's
You know?
unfortunate,
Yeah.
right? Because
And-
that's the thing. Is like, it's all about bringing everyone up. Don't
Yeah.
just be like,
Mm.
nah, competition. Fuck this
Yeah.
guy.
And if you can't fit it into the night, I mean, another good one is just like, say you'll play it a little bit later in the night when things start dying down, because you always play like as you're packing down the last half an hour, you'll play a couple more songs like while everyone's finishing off the night.
That's
Yeah.
You
it,
can
yeah.
play it then, and if they don't want to stick around, well then,
Well, a good
know?
example of that as well is I played at Convenience recently for like an emo punk night.
yeah.
And these two girls came up to me and they kept requesting some really whack indie track that I've never heard of. It's called The Shoes. Look up the band The Shoes, right? And the thing is with that, right, is I was just like, I listened to it and I bought it for them. I was like, I'm going to play it last song.
yeah.
And I played it last song, and everyone kind of looked at me like,
What is
you
this?
just went from System of a Down into indie rock, right?
Yeah.
But the girls are just jumping up and down, screaming.
And creating that
having a
energy.
great- having a
Well,
great
amongst
time.
they probably grabbed another couple people in the area and like amped them up and
That's it.
shared their love of that song with
Not
other
that.
people.
No, it's not.
You know?
This one.
Yeah, it's that one, the French band, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
if you really think about it, why would you deny that,
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to get into, like, motivation. Like, for me, I started off in, like, like, obviously, I told you in the last podcast about how I was, looking up to all these rave DJs and stuff. But the more I think about it, my uncle's wedding and my mum's wedding, the wedding DJ, watching him in work, like, I wasn't requesting songs, but I was sitting there, like you said, when you were sitting in the blue light discos,
yeah.
just sitting in the booth, just watching. That's what I was doing. I was
Yeah.
watching. I might not have requested songs, but I probably could have been that person that requests songs or whatever. But I'm sitting there like just watching and almost getting motivated to the point now where I've like done, I think, 4 or 5 weddings this year and there's more coming up.
Well, that's
So it's like I've gone full circle, but But I was that guy in the crowd at one point, just watching and being like, "You're gonna deny people like who are getting inspired by you? They're not." Yeah, that's the thing. People get offended. They just want to come on that ride with you. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly it, and that's what I mean. Where it's 100% that you just have to go in and just be a nice human being and have a good time. Like, don't be an asshole. Don't be a dick. And if someone requests something or they're being shitty about it, be polite and try and turn them around and be like, no.
Yeah, there's definitely people that do come up and request stuff that are just completely flat out rude.
Yeah.
And like obviously they're not going to get the shit played. Like,
but that's it. Like at the market grounds,
like,
at the market grounds, girls literally jump up on the side of the fucking booth.
Yeah.
The whole thing is that thing can come off.
That, yeah.
And the thing is like I've had to whack their hands, being like, no.
Yeah.
Go around here, and they'll be like, play Beyonce, and be like, no, we'll get to it. You know, play more R&B. Yes, we already are playing R&B. You just don't realize that we're playing R&B.
But in a way, once again, I think we were talking about this yesterday. It validates. There's a reason that you're there. You're providing a service, and that's part of the service.
That's exactly
If you don't regret requests, I know there's still a reason for you to be there, but you're still facilitating the music in an order and trying to please everyone. You know.
Yeah. But that's exactly it, and that's what I mean. Like, the way I got taught is you look around the crowd and you go, what does he want to listen to? What does she want to listen to?
Yeah.
What do they want to listen to?
Demographic crowd reading. It's like
that's it.
Or even
the first half an hour to an hour of any sort of commercial set like that, you're basically building the trust of the dance floor, of the clientele.
Yeah.
You know, and you're testing, all right, shall I go this far or this way? And like by the end of the first sort of hour, you know, you have control of the dance floor. Like,
that's it. Well, here's one for you guys as well. This is a good topic. What do you do about like taking over from someone or someone taking over from you? Because like, say like for me, not one of the worst gigs, but one of the very most interesting gigs I've ever done, right?
Yeah.
Is I went and played at Amplifier, right, for Death Disco's last event. Pretty sure it was their last event, right? And basically, the guy that played after me, I had built this crowd up. I built this stage up. Everyone's dancing. There's like 40 people, 50 people in Amplifier area just dancing, having a great time, right? And then I ended up playing Gesaffelstein Pursuit as my last song, right? And I told him...
What time was this?
This was like 11:30, maybe?
That's a pretty big song for that. What time the club closed?
4 a.m., 5 a.m. But that's the thing is like, I built it up. I built this fucking rave and everyone's having a great time. And then he literally plays Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You. And this is in like... This is in January or was like... fucking November.
It wasn't Christmas in July or anything like that.
Christmas or anything like that, right? Yeah, right? But he missed it, so he wanted to play it right, and he played it, and then it goes into a dubstep drop.
Oh no!
But the thing is like, I listened to his thing and sped it up to the drop, like 16 bars behind the drop, because he knew what he's doing, but he didn't know what he's doing. He's very new to the scene, and then like it was like, there you go. Now I want to play the whole thing. Yeah. So it's like it went from Gesaffelstein just like drop, fucking All I Want for Christmas Is You. Everyone left. They went into Capital. And I'm just standing there like, I just did all this work. Like, I made this happen.
That comes down to, I suppose, bookings of different time slots with people as well. But not only that, like, if you've got, I always, you know, if I got someone taking over from me, I ask them, you know, what's your first kind of 2 songs? What's the vibe? You know, and even if they chuck their USB in and then I get to listen to it, I'm like, okay, because, you know, within 2 or 3 songs, I can kind of either bring it down to a level where that's going to be appropriate, but I never finish on a fucking high banger note unless the dude's like, just send it. Like, you know, and then it's also the time of the nights as well. Like, you know, 11:30. Like, that's not a bad time to pump it, but like with an extra 3 hours.
I really wish you guys were there for Insomnia Ball, because it was like, my gig was like...
No, we were.
You were. Yeah, fucking you brought everyone in. What am I talking about?
We were directing...
Sandstorm at like 9 o'clock at night.
We were directing traffic into your thing. I've even got a couple of videos on my phone of talking. I was talking to some people asking if they were enjoying themselves, and they were like really liking it. So...
I forgot about that. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
I forgot about that. You directed everybody, and I was like, oh my god, they brought everyone in.
No, I think there's only been 3 or 4 times since we last talked where I've gotten extremely intoxicated. And that was one of the nights, so I'm not surprised you don't remember.
I don't remember leaving. I remember ending up in some random apartment and then getting moved on from out the front of one Chinese restaurant and then woken up by a street sleeper. And then the next thing I know, I'm awake in my bed, and I'm like, Thank fuck I got home.
Really? Like you
I
fell
was
asleep?
gone.
Really?
I was so
You're so gone that Alex didn't even remember you were there.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, you guys. I can't believe I forgot that.
Because the last thing
Nah,
I
it's
I
all
was
good.
chatting to you guys all
Yeah, we were hanging out all night. That's
the
all
last
good.
thing I
All
remember,
night.
like the last thing I remember before all that was Tim's like, "I'm done. I'm going home," and I'm like, "Nah, stay. Don't be a pussy."
Yeah,
And
I
then
remember that. Yeah, and you wanted to leave.
I had
was
to.
like,
I
no.
had to.
And then-
I had to. I was getting
Yeah,
embarrassing.
and then I definitely took over. And, yeah, just black out, and I know I stayed till close.
What an awesome event, though. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think.
can't wait
I
for
think
that.
I hit up. Is it? It's Fix, B-Fix or
Yeah,
something.
B-Fix.
B-Fix. Yeah, I've
Bryn,
already. Be
Tag Bryn. Just be like.
really keen for us to jump on board with that next year.
Yeah,
That was an amazing event.
I can't.
And
wait.
I think it's only going to grow. I think
Yeah.
you might get some awards in there, like some other nights are doing, and things like that, like some
Yeah.
funny awards and
That
shit.
is going to
Be
be
really
the next
good.
biggest thing. Even
Yeah.
though it's yearly, like that was so.
Especially
much
like
fun.
the Retrobite, man, having all the floors open and being able to access everything is to me like the equivalent of Perth version of Cloud9.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
I don't
So-
think I've never heard of Cloud. No.
we went over it a year ago, but it's
Yeah, a
okay.
year ago. Sorry.
Remember we were talking about? I was saying last.
Check and rewatch.
we
Check
were
and
saying,
rewatch.
we were saying the manager was saying that the pictures were almost like porn because like
Kinda.
yeah. And anyway,
There's been a lot of podcasts. I'm
Yeah,
so sorry. Like that class, you guys are really good mates, mum, and I've forgotten shit.
nah, that's fine. That's fine. So the other thing, pretty much talked about everything I want to in the notes here.
Yeah. Oh, we got Cloud9 Club up.
No, that's not it.
That's
Oh,
not
yes,
it?
it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. Just do Google images Cloud9 and you'll just see what I mean by the photos, probably.
Yeah, that place is.
Straight away.
Look at the one below it as well.
Yeah. So shout out to those guys
Zoom
over in
in.
Melbourne because they're not
Go
running
on
at the
the-
moment because of the
click it.
lockdowns, but. Yeah,
Because
played there a few
lockdowns.
times, but yeah, the basically the way that it's structured, you got a rooftop, you got a basement, and you've got a mid-main level.
Okay.
What does that remind you of? It's pretty much like Retrobite.
Yeah, Retrobite, yeah.
So, yeah.
That's pretty cool, though. So we were going to lead into you guys being in Melbourne and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so last time Adam didn't really talk about St Kilda history. Like we were living in St Kilda, and we just literally, I mean, the more and more I think about it, you know, when you're in the moment, you don't realize what you're doing, and then you think about it years later, and you're like, I mean, we took over that place.
Yeah, like pretty much every street
That's a
on,
good thing.
on Ackland Street and Barclay Street, like we played and ran events in every single venue.
Really?
Yeah, and like over the 4 or 5 years that I was there, and then, well, yeah. 'Cause
How many clubs are there and bars and stuff?
Hang on, we did.
So Ackland Street's got
We did White Bar, we did Pretty Please, we did that weird little bar.
there's probably about
that's 2 streets
5
up.
venues in St Kilda.
But still,
Yeah, 5 or
Yeah.
5
6
venues to
that
all
were-
be booked with your own stuff. Like
Yeah, it was crazy little nugget because it's almost like St Kilda's like if you picked up Fremantle and plopped it like a lot closer to Perth City or something.
Okay.
I suppose
Is that
it's
close
just
to
got
Chapel
it's got a
Street
very
in
much
St.
Fremantle
Kilda?
vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did a few events on Chapel Street as well.
That would have been sick. Chapel Street is so cool.
Our first event was actually, well, our first Melbourne event.
Oh, there you go. That's so Pretty Please, that couch there, that venue, that's when we first went in. So the story is we love this venue so much. Every time the owners changed hands, we would come up to the next owners and would say, hey, we've been running good parties here. We've run them before. Why don't you get us to do yours? And they go, well, it's easy for them. You guys are already running. I think we went through about 3 or 4 different owners over the time period.
Whilst you guys are still there, holy shit.
Yeah, and we just kept going back there. I don't know if we want to go over the photos of some of those events first before we talk about St Kilda Festival and what happened with that venue in St Kilda Festival. Maybe that's a good way to do. Do you want to bring up the photos now of some of our events and we can?
Yep.
So yeah, well,
What
let's go
year
back
was this then? How?
So
what's
we'd
the
run the events in Perth. Adam helped me out run my first ever event at the float events in Perth. We're running them here. Then eventually he moved over, I moved over, and we sort of met up again.
What club and stuff were you running the first events at?
That's what I'm trying. I'm trying to get back to the very beginning. So the beginning was Perth, and then the first time was
What venues in Perth though?
I was Bar 138 that we ran it out of.
Okay,
in
that's
Perth.
that's near Taka's, right?
Yeah.
It's now
yeah,
called
yeah.
something weird, like
Yeah,
Bar
yeah.
and Grill or something like that. But
Yeah.
so Pretty Please was the first one, and then obviously the owners changed a few times and stuff like that. But yeah, we had some really
Can you
successful
zoom
parties
in,
there
Damo? Yep.
under the Flirt banner, which
Who's
yeah,
that guy in the middle with the blue shirt.
yeah, that's me when I was younger. Don't ask me what I was doing with the hair.
Make her in like.
You just pull
And we had a lot of these are all SAE DJs that we had on our team. That guy's from Colombia on the left there. The other guy there's
he runs his own radio show and has his own record label now. So
in Colombia. Or?
Yeah, he moved back.
Cavaro, but he was going by Jorge back then.
Yeah. The other guy has a residency on Chapel Street. But yeah, we were using all the SAE DJs. Like, why not? All these hungry.
Well, that's it. They want gigs.
Producing.
You offer them gigs.
Yeah.
You help them out.
You know.
That's the thing. It's it's.
He's out in the middle.
Yeah, that's it.
Gangster ass.
Oh, that guy there was actually was a backpacker from St Kilda because St Kilda's a really big backpacker area, and he was nice enough to come down, support the night, hand in a demo, say, hey, I'm really interested in playing. I've got a lot of friends that are in St Kilda at the moment. We gave him a go. I think it was Kevin O'Keefe, wasn't it? Kevin O'Keefe, yeah, that's right.
He actually did quite a few. He was with us and doing gigs with us for pretty much for like 6 or 7 months, throughout his whole visa, pretty much.
No shit.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And it's interesting because we were running all these parties. We were at the same venue after the owners kept changing it. Then we eventually moved down the road, which is what Adam talked about in the last podcast with the white bar where they were screwing us over with drink vouchers and all that sort of stuff. So we eventually did have to move it. But the funny thing is now, all right, so it's just for a second, I'm sorry. This guy was my MC that went on tour with me, and he MC'd at all our events and things like that. He passed on last year. So
really?
MC Tox. So I don't know if a lot of Perth people probably know Specs. MC Specs.
Yeah, I heard of him, yeah.
Very similar kind of vibe, like proper Englishman, like, nice one, blood. No worries, bro. And then like when he was on the mic and shit, he'd be like, one love, one family, one life. Rewind the decks. And, you know, this guy was absolutely a staple for our flirt parties. And when I went on to run venues, like when I was doing my ALH management and stuff like that, like absolute staple he was, yeah.
Sorry to hear that, yeah.
It's very sad, and you know it's pretty much like I think we talked about last time as well. It's like COVID is like impacting people in ways that can't even be measured. I think
that's exactly it. Yeah.
Some people need the nightlife to survive, and he was definitely one of them who was using it as an outlet for himself to be free.
It's a way to be, you know, self-expression kind of thing. You go out there and you have fun, and then that's it.
That's I do 100. Like, these moments are like so precious, but like that's the thing. Like we're in the moment so much because you know we don't have that much time to even like reflect on this like of late because it's you know next gig, next party, next rave, next thing, and like we've been going that way 10 years straight, and then it's just like this whole reflection period has been amazing. But then it's just like holy shit, like look at the stuff we've done, like what we've done. So
that's it. When you look back in the places you played and the venues you've been at and everything, you're just like, I've done so much work, and the people you meet along the way. Some of the stuff
is like how the could we ever pull it off? Like, you know, but it was just straight up enthusiasm and
you're so hard on yourself. You put so much pressure on yourself, and then you just take a like reflection. Even if you just look back at the last 3 years, like I did between the podcast, and you go, "Wow, I've done all this stuff." Like, and you forget to appreciate yourself and go give yourself almost a pat on the back and say, "Hey, good work." Like you put like in this industry, you put so much pressure on yourself.
That's the thing.
Way too much. Sometimes
I've said this to a few mates as well. It's like when you look back on your 20s to your 30s, like, did you enjoy what you were doing? Did you have fun? Like this and that. And if you say, yeah, well, you know, you've like it's the things you've done. Like I would look back on my 20s and say, because I'm 30 next year, but I'd just be like, fuck, like I've done a lot and I've achieved a lot, and was it worth it? It was totally worth it.
Yeah, no regrets at all.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, you've been on tour, you've done this, you've done that. Like, you know, you've worked because I remember you on the podcast as well. You said you opened like two restaurants or something, right? And it was like
he's working restaurants in between us running all these parties.
So that's what I mean. It's like you're flat out, but you look back and like, I've done so much.
I was doing like 60 to 80 hour weeks working as a chef plus DJing on like the Friday, Saturday nights, and then also organizing, you know, like artists and like flyer runs and all this sort of stuff with Tim, you know, as well. And it's like I can't believe that I had that much time and like energy. And like now it's just all I do is DJing, mixing, and like I've just cut all of that out. Like because I just
you find what you love and you do it, right?
Yeah. The thing is like I didn't quite believe in myself 100%, and up until you know this kind of like up until kind of like COVID hit, really. But then like this is the whole thing, like of looking back, it's like, no, actually, like I've achieved so much and I've been mixing and been around for that long. Like, why haven't I made that all-in step yet? And that's where I'm at now. Like, I've done my all-in step and like, I'm, you know, 3 months booked out. I've got bookings up until March next year, scattered along. So it's like, and it's like, I could have been doing this the whole time.
Yeah, because
That's it, yeah.
about a
No.
year ago, was it a year ago? You quit pretty much your day job to do this full time, like
Yeah.
about a year ago, and I've just done that myself as well. Because I looked at it and I go, I'm booked out for 3 months. Summer's coming.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get locked down.
That's where we might get locked down.
Yeah.
I hope not. But the
Then-
East Coast, what are you doing?
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, we got to be creative with like, because I run myself as a business now. You got to be creative with it. As soon as we get locked down, you know, there's other avenues of income that's not that it's not venues. You know, some venues like, you know, that have restaurant licenses or tavern licenses and, like, you know, have minimal sort of you know, minimal people, but they still provide entertainment.
That's
So
it.
there's an avenue there. There's also you know, say streaming options or coaching, like, you know,
Yeah,
DJ
teaching,
teaching, like.
It's
There's,
so interesting
you know,
with that.
So there's
man.
not, so like when there's like a lot of people that go, oh no, like I'm stuck, like, you know, my whole income system's broken down. Like, it's like, have these systems in place so that way if that gets taken away from you, you're not, you know, like, you know, I like, so like I have multiple ways of earning through.
And you've got trades and everything as well.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I don't have any trades. That's why I'm going to do emergency safety officer.
To be honest, my trade's chefing. So like, if when it locks down, like there's still
It's
no
locked.
work.
Yeah.
So-
He's all hospitality entertainment, so it's
That's
kind of
what I
fucked.
mean. 'Cause that's why I've taken the backup where it's like,
Mm.
I'm going to give the mines a go, and if I don't like it, then I'm just going to come back and keep doing what I'm doing. But like, the money's stupid, and just got to have something, you know, to stay afloat in a way. Because that's the thing, is like,
You need your little nest egg.
But no,
That's it,
but it's what we talked about before. When you buy equipment, it comes back tenfold, right?
That's
So you need a bit of money to invest in yourself to buy these things, and you know, whether it be courses or equipment or
jet skis.
hire or are we getting a jet ski? Oh yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. I'd like to get a jet ski. You know,
You know,
use it once and
you
leave it
do
in the
have
shed.
to. I mean, that's what I did. I was working for LG, you know, for a bit there, and all that was to like while I was letting people know, because as you know, Perth's on a delayed reaction, so it takes a while to like actually get people go, oh, you're back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To get the ball rolling again. But I'm just happy that it's there, like. You know,
That's it. And you just have to keep going and keep moving and keep getting the bubble bigger, kind of thing. Just don't let it burst and, like, you know.
That's
run
great.
out of
I love that.
gigs.
That's great. Yeah.
Just keep getting the bubble bigger, because then the more gigs you take on, the more, you know, the more things you can do, the more money you can make, the more, you know, you can just do everything in a way.
But yeah, the
It's part of the
crazy
lifestyle.
thing about this venue, like because we're running this venue with multiple owners, right? What was actually happening in between all these big parties was
Can you keep going through the photos if that's right, Damo? Sorry.
my friend, a friend from uni, Rubel, had a record label called Go Jam, and he said to me, "Hey, I'm running a stage at St Kilda Festival," and I've gone, "Wow, like I want to play on that." Right now, this is very interesting because first year he goes, I want you to run the after party. I want you to focus. So after the stage closes, everyone comes to the club, and I want you to be there and manage everything for the after party for this year. And I thought, if I do it for him this year, he's gonna, you know, and I help him out. He's gonna come up to like me and Adam and say, "Hey, look, we want you to play on the big stage for the St Kilda Festival next year."
Well, look at that bass face.
It never happened. It never happened like that. We never moved to the main stage. But the great thing is because we're official partners of the St Kilda Festival, running an official after party each year. Didn't matter who ran the venue, we were able to facilitate that. Now, one year, and this is what you didn't talk about, which I wish you talked about because this is crazy. If you hear about, the bar hopping, what's his name? Tiesto.
Yeah.
Tiesto's early stories, if you listen to any documentaries or anything on him, his early stories, the point where he knew he made it is he was literally on the same street bouncing from club to club to club on the same night, playing sets. And that's when he knew that he was going to be
And he was
Tiesto.
like working in a fish and chip shop before he got picked up. He was working in a fish and chip shop and then used to have drinks after work across the road. And then he's like, oh, you want to spin some tunes? And then like literally the first night that he was playing, someone else from another club was like walking past and was like, come with me. Like when you finish, come with me. And then like literally took him up to one of the main clubs on the strip. And then that was the
him.
snowball for him. Like,
Oh shit.
crazy.
But
Like,
that's
the first
it.
night that he's ever started DJing, just like, that's it.
But see,
Taking
that's
it
also
random.
the thing as well. Is like, depending on where you played, the exposure, would you guys say as well? Like, because he was lucky enough to be able to be playing like maybe on a busy strip or whatever like that.
Yeah.
If someone walks past and sees him. But
So with this St Kilda Festival, there was so the way it worked was it's a day party that leads into the night. So I think the first year we didn't run anything during the day, And it was the second year and third year that we started doing it. But we were running parties during the day there in this venue because there's literally, it's like an AFL football match of a crowd walking by your venue.
Yeah, so they
It is
They
insane.
close down the whole street. They've got markets like all the way around the whole strip. Like
So I think it was like the second year we were in, so we were in this club, that club we showed you, but during the day, running a day party in that booth. And we were booking all the flirt DJs and like that. And then I had to go to another venue, start DJing.
Yeah, and then
Adam would have to finish his set, then come to the other venue. This is during the day. Go to another venue on that same strip. Wait for me to finish, and then
we'll take over. So we're basically like
so he takes over.
Yeah.
So he takes over, and then I'm free to go to the next venue, and then he shuts that one.
Yeah.
And then I go to the next, and we were doing that all day. And then the crazy thing is we what was it? So we were running the venue later after the stage had shut as well. So we went to go back there later, and that was just a point of, and we're doing this every year, mind you, for the St Kilda Festival. That was the point of, and we were running these regular events in St Kilda, but for me, that really encapsulates like how well we did in St Kilda. To be running that party consistently, regardless of the owners. And we never got to that stage where the guy gave us a stage because we were doing the after party so well and organising that so well. And if the guy had continued, we would have been there. And hopefully Rubel comes back to Australia and does that again so we can play on that stage. But isn't it funny when you shoot for something, right? You might not necessarily get what you're shooting for, but the stuff that falls just under it is really good as well.
That's it, yeah.
I mean, we probably made more money running up and down the street doing all these gigs in St Kilda than we would have just playing on the main stage. The main stage would have been bigger and more exposure, and we were leading to that. But it's just funny how things like that work out. You might but the thing is we could have had the attitude and said, "Oh, you don't want us on the stage, then no worries."
But that's it. Sometimes it's all about the foot traffic in a way, just like going from place to place and just doing more and more things.
Because in the middle of the dance floor, we had that bucking bull. Do you remember that year?
Yeah, so that's what's funny. We go and do a bachelor party, there's a bucking bull, and then years and years ago, there was a bucking bull during the day, and people were coming in riding the bucking bull during the festival,
inside the nightclub, mid-dance floor, so like, I'm here, the edge of the DJ booth there, and then there's this massive like bucking bull. So like in the middle of my set, like I've just jumped off and started on the fucking bucking bull and then climbed back up to mix the song.
So we had this one manager there because there's all these different owners, right? We had this one owner there called Rodney.
Oh, Rodney was a
legend. And it was so funny, right? He gets all the people running the venue to come in for a meeting, right? Like when the club's closed, you know how it is, a little pizza meeting or whatever.
Yeah, all the promoters.
And we there's heaps of people there because like we thought we booked this venue, and then like there was another like pair of promoters like we thought we booked this venue. There's like another pair of promoters like and he sat us all down, and then
he's like, all right, so this is the deal. You guys are going to work with each other, and you guys are going to pair up, and you're going to work. Who wants downstairs or who wants upstairs?
Yeah.
And we're like, well, we'll take upstairs.
No, but he lied to us. He goes, oh, I didn't know that I'd triple booked the venue. Let's all work together and have a big party. Who wants upstairs and who wants downstairs? And it was always the thing, like with you and me. Yeah. Sometimes we wanted, depending on the way the venue was laid out, because as you know, talking about earlier, like renovations and stuff. They depending on which was the better room. Like we loved downstairs until they completely decked out the middle of upstairs and made it bigger. Then we're like, we want upstairs. But there was times we were running both. But it was just hilarious. This one guy trying to pretend that he doesn't know that he's. But we didn't mind either. Like working with other people is what I've said many times is what you need to do.
That's it.
It's just, he was such a funny guy, and he knew how to deal with me, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely. That's a hard one.
Yeah. No, he was just like, Tim, calm down. It'll be Tim. Stop being so excited. We'll do it, okay?
Yeah, stop bouncing off walls.
Yeah,
you're good.
But he knew that I was, he knew that I would do what he was wanting, But he just every now and then, right?
That's what you want. Like if it was successful and no one,
and it's just as I say, I'm thinking about the legacy. So Adam moves on. You move back to Perth and start continuing your journey and things like that.
Just before we go into that, we had comments, did we?
Yeah, we have a couple of comments.
Yeah.
Before we start your story, Mitchell Robinson, you can't see it, screen, but he actually left 2 comments. One is, what beautiful specimens.
Oh yeah.
And the second one is, the answer to song request is simple. All DJs need a PA who handles all requests on the side of the booth and doubles as a drug mule and portable wine bar.
That's actually pretty funny, Mitch.
Yeah.
That's so good.
A wine bar, and
JD Preston, this is going out to Tim.
Yeah,
Tim.
That's my dad. Yeah, thanks, Dad.
But yeah, so what were you saying before, Adam? Sorry,
So St Kilda first. So we had such this legacy, and then the more I think about it, so Adam had actually moved on. Like Adam was actually doing a lot of favors for me. He let me move in when I'd moved out of home. He let me stay at his house for a couple of weeks while I was transitioning over, and he said to me, he goes, "Look, the hardest thing about moving out and doing things is you have to just do it and
You just
dive
have to do it, yeah.
fit in. So he
it,
put me
yeah.
up for a couple of weeks at his house, like got me started and established, and then I think eventually he moved back on to Perth. But my St Kilda Festival legacy would continue because I'd go on to play Slam Beach Party, Dreamland at Luna Park.
You played at Luna Park.
Luna Park for
That's
Dreamland Music Festival, which
sick.
they're actually doing a Dreamland this year, but I played at one of the earlier ones. When I played at the Slam Beach Party, it was hilarious. I'll tell a good story about that one, right? So I do I think it was the second set of the side room, and then the side room gets really, really busy, and it goes on an hour or two longer than what it's supposed to, and I'm still sort of chilling. It's not one of those areas where backstage is backstage. It's like the crowd can sort of float around backstage. So when I say I was like in the booth, I wasn't hanging out there. It was just everyone was sort of free to run around the tent, you know?
Okay, yeah.
So obviously, because I'd played earlier, one of the stage guys comes up to me because I'm just sort of standing there, and he comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, we need to shut the stage and move everyone to the main room now because this is pumping really well, but now the numbers of we want everyone to the main stage." He goes, "If you get on the mic and tell everyone to go to the main stage, I'll get you a slab of drinks." One of the stage managers. And of course, if you're in the industry, we talked about this in the last podcast. I'm like, all right. So I get on the mic. I'm like, okay, give it up for Eliza Bradshaw. And what we're going to do right now, party people, is we're going to head to the main stage to check out the king of Melbourne Bounce, Will Sparks.
Oh, really? Will
And then
Sparks is going
yeah,
on?
and then just turn it off, and then like just turn the music off, and then I was like, please, everyone, I hope you heard me, and I hope you start moving, like, or whatever. Like, I hope you just stand there and just
Yeah,
like,
big boy voice, like, oh. Like,
you know, I wanted the free drinks, you know. So, so they all just stand there like, oh, last time I stood on the podcast, I was out of frame, but they all just stand. You know, when you like deadpan like that, and you just go,
yeah.
what's happening? And then sure enough, okay, there you go. Huh? What's happening? And then the word starts to spread because one person goes, "Oh, it's shutting," and then another Chinese whispers, you know.
That's it,
and then
yeah.
they all start moving on, and then the guy who had given me the offer, he's like, "Good work, you know. I'll go and get something for
go
you."
get your slab, yeah.
And he comes back and he goes, "Sorry, mate, I've only got like 4 or 5 drinks for you, and it's ginger beer." And I go, "Is it alcohol?" I go, "Alcohol?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Well, I'm cool, whatever, I'll take that." You know. So that was
Free drinks are free drinks, right?
that was really fun. And then the other one that was massive that I still pinch myself to this day is, you know, I'd been working festivals for this group called 100% Entertainment.
100%.
And they 100% Entertainment. 100%. You know,
kind of
yeah, kind of like Woggy, 100%. You know,
very nice.
and they called me and they said it was weird. It was like because I played Let Go Fest. Well, there you go. That's shout out to those guys. I played Let Go Fest, their first one at it's a race course, the Mornington Peninsula Race Course. So you know, I'd approached them and presented myself and everything like that, and you know, yada yada. So I'd worked for them a few times, festivals and that. But it was really nice when they called me up and said, "Do you want to play Fatboy Slim?
You played Fat Boy.
Do you want to play at Fatboy Slim on St Kilda Beach?" And after all the history that me and Adam had created there, that legacy that we had left living there for years, and
Crazy.
you know, and me starting to play the fest, like more than one. Do you remember when you just wanted to play one fucking festival, like, and that was your dream? And like now I can say I played 3 in St Kilda, and getting called up and asked, it's a whole different experience. And as you know, when you put in the work, I mean, we're all in this position right now where like I don't really actually put out a lot of stuff comes in, and then that's filling up the calendar. Like there's only a couple of dates here and there where I might have to ask, hey, is there anything happening on this Friday that's just randomly spare there or whatever. But yeah, hey, do you want to play Fatboy Slim? It's just like,
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
can I get back to you? No,
Can I meet him as well?
That's like when I got back to Perth, you know, a mate, Bruno hit us up and was like, "Oh yeah, do you want to do?
Oh, that's right.
Electric Gardens Music Festival."
There you go.
Basically play at the same festival as Underworld.
No
and I was
shit.
like, what the fuck? They cancelled like as they always do. And they had Marlo basically
Electric Gardens?
Yeah, Electric Gardens.
That's a Perth festival. I think they're doing an island.
They had Underworld playing.
They're doing an island party soon.
yeah.
They were going to do it on Rottnest with Roger Sanchez, Basement Jacks,
Basement Jacks is going to go Rottnest.
Rottnest Island Beach Party
I would
thingy coming
take
up by the
work
same
off for
people that
that.
ran that festival that he played at.
If
Yeah.
Basement Jacks are coming to Perth, I'm taking work off.
Yeah, they're doing everything they can to make it happen. It's been delayed a couple of times, but Electric Island, that's it.
Oh, it's been delayed since February 2020.
Yeah, so Electric Gardens is, you know, it's like I always wanted to play at Breakfest, and that was, you know, obviously at Belvoir. But Electric Gardens was held there as well. So I'm just like, wow. So I've kind of ticked off a half box of playing at Belvoir, which I was like, fuck yeah, like that's
Your Belvoir would be an amazing venue to play at.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's not Bellevue isn't where Breakfest is held, right? That's,
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
I went to
That's
Trance Energy back in the day. There,
Trance
yeah,
Energy.
it was like a trance music festival. Yeah.
That would have been sick if you played at Bellevue.
Yeah, like no, it was a crazy day because yeah,
and that's
it's
the
just-
pinnacle, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
playing at festivals is like the pinnacle for me. Like,
See, I've
sure.
never actually played a festival. Oh no, I've done Hyperfest Silent Disco.
There you go.
2012.
There you go.
Counts.
There you go.
Yeah.
Definitely counts.
Something. Yeah, it was something.
Yeah. Actually, I remember that.
Yeah, I was
They,
there.
they were the people. A lot of the people putting in that on were all the old raves and stuff that I constantly talk to you about. The
Really?
like where we all like remember we were with Next Gen and stuff. All that scene. There was actually a stage there. They were one of the sponsors for that festival. So you actually worked with all those old school rave crew then.
Yeah, no
if
shit.
you're talking about Hyperfest. Yeah.
Because I
That's
just
cool.
emailed in. It's like, can I have a go? And they gave me a go. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was very young then, so
That was early. I remember trying to get involved with that, seeing that because all age gigs are really positive for.
Sorry, I should have
Oh, you could have moved the lava lamp.
I
All age gigs are really positive, aren't they, for youth and stuff like that? Like,
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
But the
Like,
thing
all
is,
this
there's
youth-
so much alcohol that they
Oh,
try
really?
and smuggle in. That's what I
Yeah.
found so funny about it.
but you
Like-
got to give them something to do, like in an environment where there's people around that can help them out if they get too messy or whatever
Well,
happens. Yeah.
Talking about Bunbury just quickly, did you guys ever hear about Project Kate at all?
No.
So look that up if you can, Damo. Project Kate was there was a girl who had something wrong with her, like something severely wrong with like cerebral palsy or something like that, and it was a fundraiser for it. And so a guy called Tony Warden from Bunbury, he used to throw this festival, and it was all ages. It was just fun.
Yeah.
It was just
crazy.
like it's just in Bunbury as well. And the thing is, in Bunbury, nothing happens. You get GTM, but that's once a year.
Yeah.
You get levers, but
Yeah.
if you're not a lever, you can't go.
Oh, it'd be really nice if like Bunbury nightlife could like get sparked up and get going again, wouldn't it? Because I mean, there was just a period there where it was like 4 venues, and we're down to what, like 1 or something?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. But that's exactly it. When I was 18, 19, there was so much, well, not so much, but there was a lot to do in Bunbury, kind of. You
Yeah.
just bar hop kind of
Yeah,
thing.
we've been booked down there at Exit and quite a bit like over the years. Like
Yeah. We've had-
and then that's another one of those things of changing owners. Like they've had 3
Yeah,
owners and we played each time. Like
Oh, really?
yeah, so yeah, I think
But
the
it's
last
just Bunbury.
How much time do we have left, Amo?
We have half an hour.
Oh, good. Because I had a really good topic to like, so that was cool to see
Before we
that.
start, your
Okay.
father has another very lovely comment.
Ah.
Always you have been over enthusiastic. That's what makes you be you.
straight up.
True.
Yeah.
And
Don't
Rodney,
change.
Rodney would say, "It's okay, Tim. We'll have the party. Just calm down. Calm down."
We'll have the
I had a sorry, just so yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? The St Kilda legacy, and then like I'm end up playing these St Kilda, and then he's playing festivals over back in his hometown. Like, it's just an interesting like. It was,
Dynamic,
The
yeah.
journey's been freaking crazy. And
you got
like,
to kind of
it's-
look at it from the outside in at your life sometimes to actually really go, "Wow, we did crazy shit." Like,
Yeah, and that's,
that's
the thing.
it,
Like
yeah.
I constantly forget like who I've played with and what venues, and because it's just
and the White
It's
Bar
constant
stole
growth, like-
stole our name, and then now. Library nightclub's still using Flirt XO as the name. They just added XO onto the
I
end.
remember you saying that, you guys. Like,
So
that's
we've had our
fucking
name
ridiculous.
stolen, but the thing is like,
who gives a shit.
just go make a new idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's what they say in the Facebook movie. It's like they're
Facebook?
trying to get the Harvard Council to like ban them from stealing their work. He goes, "How about you go and start a new project?" Like, it really is as simple as
I
that.
haven't
You know,
seen that film in so long.
it's a good.
Social
Yo,
network,
it's
right?
fucking
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah,
I
wanna
made
watch
this
it
guy
again.
watch it
Yeah,
Yeah.
I only watched it for the first time like I don't know what the beginning
a couple
of the
weeks ago. Yeah,
couple weeks, yeah.
something I can't remember.
They're Fincher.
It's a great movie. You know, when he's like, "Do you want to catch the several like little fish, or do you want to catch the 1,000 trout?"
Yeah.
Or something,
Mm.
or whatever. Like, you want the little fish, or you want all the fish? But
Well, that's exactly it, and that's what they did.
yeah, and another thing I wanted to ask you guys, and as a topic, was like, have you guys ever not been paid from DJing?
Just quickly, it's like Tim's the host.
yeah.
100. Never been paid. I have had that happen twice.
Twice, yeah.
But the issue was with the second time was that my invoice was incorrect, and since it was about like 2 months, 3 months down the track of me trying to chase it up,
Yeah.
then going back and feeling like an idiot, and it's like, oh, I put my date in wrong.
Ah, yes.
But
yes,
then the
that's a big
first
thing.
time, I just didn't get paid. I
Yeah.
kept chasing it up,
Uh-huh.
and it just didn't happen.
Yeah,
And it was bullshit.
yeah.
How many times did you work for that venue? Once?
Oh, it was just the once, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, no. It's happened 3 times. Sorry. There was the Angels Cut, the trustee, which is in St. George's Terrace, right?
Yeah.
And I chased them up for about 2 weeks, then went in, found out the place was getting sold and they were going bankrupt and stuff like that. Guy gave me cash. Basically, just like, yep, here's a roll of 50s. There you go, kind of thing.
Catch is king.
And then the other time was I played at a place called the Russell Inn through a group I am part of, like for wedding and events and this and that. He just needed someone as a fill-in. But the thing is, though, the way I kind of perceived it is that he received the money, he spent the money, and then he had to wait for more money to come in to pay me instead of paying me on the day.
That sounds like a him problem, not
That's
a
it, and that's why I kept chasing up, being like, dude, like, I did this work, I've recorded the mix, I've got evidence.
Just take it out of the till.
Give me the money.
But it's a pretty good percentage, isn't it? Because it's the same with you. It's something like once or twice you've.
No, I'm fully paid up. Yeah.
So
Like, there's been times where it's they've gone over 2 months, and then I'm like, guys, this is a bit fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, pay up.
They're just like, oh yeah, no worries. Like, we've changed accounts managers or whatever. And it's a random clerical error. But
Well, see, I always ask things where it's like, is this actually the account's email, or who do I talk to actually talk to
I
about
organise that
invoices?
way
Yeah, because some
before.
places you have to register yourself as a supplier, which takes a bit of time,
Yeah,
and then you have to.
work that way.
Yeah,
That's exactly
Yeah.
it. It's fucking ridiculous.
yeah,
It's just extra hoops and hurdles to jump through, basically.
yeah.
But that's
Because
it. Before I even take most bookings on, it's like, unless I've worked with them or before, like, or have had people work with them before and then trust their judgment. Like a lot of venues, it's like I'm like, up front, like, this is
This is how it
like,
is.
This is what I'm expecting and all this sort of stuff before I even accept the
Well, that's
the
it.
booking.
It should be a level of negotiation kind of thing before you go and do the gig. Kind of, it's like, okay, how much is it? What's the time frame? This and that.
Well, it's your due diligence, man. Like it's essentially it's like a job at the end of the day, and if you don't give a shit about it, then sure, just rock up, play, and then go chasing. Like, but that's not any way to run a business.
What about you, Tim? Have you ever?
so it was twice. So the first time was when I was working at Wawa Lounge as a promoter. I didn't actually understand the system. Basically, you promote your list or whatever. Let's say you get 20 people on your list, then you get $3 per person, then you pick up your pay the next week in your drink cards. But a lot of places in Melbourne were doing that system illegitimately, as in you were getting the numbers, you rock up, and then they don't have the envelope. So I had played a really good set, and then I just didn't go. I was that busy and partying and like younger, I didn't go and pick up my envelope. So that was one time. So that was my own fault.
Yeah.
And the second time was crazy because that MC Tox had to come to this gig, and another friend of mine. So two friends that had passed on had actually been at this gig, and it was a really good set. And I'd been chasing the money for about a year or 2 years, and then I saw one of the promoters. He was selling his house.
Really?
He's like, just sold a house, da-da-da-da. And I hit him up one more time and said, hey, you haven't paid this invoice. And he paid it. I'm like, yes, there's only one time I didn't get paid, and it was my own fault, So
here's a question for you guys as well. If you guys play a gig that's supposed to go from 6 o'clock to midnight or something like that, but then it's like a function or something, and they're like, stay back after, play more.
Yeah.
Like, how much would
always.
you guys would you guys charge more, or like would you try and get out of
It
there?
really depends. It depends on what I supply different price packages and price points. So it really depends on that. Two, well, the main thing is like if the party's like enjoyable, and like they're having a good time, I'm having a good time, then I'm happy to just cruise straight through. But like if they're completely freaking wasted, not wanting to go home, and there's like 3 of them there, and you're just playing till like 3, or the party's dissipated, then it's just like, well, I can keep going, but I charge hourly after certain amounts. Like, it just really depends on time. Sometimes, but like 9 times out of 10, it's just like, yeah, sure, I'll keep going. I'm happy to do it.
See, for me, usually I would just be like, well, it's either this amount per hour in cash, or I'm out. Sorry, because even if it's busy and people are enjoying the night, it's like, back then when that kind of stuff was happening, I'd be like, well, I have to go and play at Capital. But I'm not playing at Capital.
If there's other gigs, then sorry, you call it that.
That's it.
that's the best scenario with timelines. Like, you can do a mobile gig from 6 to 12, and then go off and play your club set.
That's it,
like,
or go just hang out and do what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly it. And sometimes they're really persistent. Like, I've done a 50th before in like it was in an industrial area, but they kept me there for an extra hour, right? Which I was okay with. This is when it first started. I was like, I'm not doing this again. But I played from, it's like 5 o'clock, no, like 6, 7 o'clock to midnight. Then I stayed back the extra hour until 1, and they're like, "Oh, can we keep you for another 2 hours?" And I'm like, "No, I'm already up near Joondalup. I gotta go home." Kind of thing. I'm like, I can't do this. But they were like here's $200 cash.
Yeah.
Here's $100 cash.
I was going to say that once they pull out the money, if you take that money,
Yeah,
if they go here, and you take it, that's it. You're locked in, man. Verbal
exactly,
contract,
you
you're
touch
going.
it, yeah.
You know, and a lot of the times, I think it's been about 3 or 4 times in the last year. Yeah, I have taken extra money to stay on. Sometimes I'll be being booked by a company.
Yeah.
So it gets quite interesting because you go, well,
Yeah.
What do you do? Yeah.
so, you know,
Would that be on the company's
Well,
fault?
100%. Like the way that me and Tim both roll with that, if we're booked through a different company, it's like, well, you just pay them, and I'll let them know and chase up the extra hour or whatever.
Yeah, through them.
So, and even if they want to pay me more for the hour, I'm like, just put it through.
and
the company
that's a
that I'm
really
working
great
for.
way
That's
of building
it, 'cause you
confidence
just-
with the company you're working for too, to know that they can trust you, as well as like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and like 9 times
it was a
out of
good
10,
party. It also lets them know, even without like
Yeah.
you know, the person messaging them saying, "Hey, it was really awesome." Like that's good when you get that.
Yeah.
But if they're saying, "Hey, we stayed we stayed open 2 hours longer. You know, we need to pay for it or whatever," then that shows that you did a really good job as well. Like that's a referral in itself, isn't
That's
it?
exactly.
You know,
it.
and they're more likely to, when they're having that conversation, say, "No, he was really good. We needed him to stay on for this amount of time."
Yeah.
Yeah, and
that-
then the
that-
companies that we like, you know, that both of us work for are usually just like, oh, if you're doing the extra hour, just you know, you can have it all, or like, you know,
Yeah.
just take it.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like being upfront. Like if you start doing these weird sneaky deals under the table,
Then they'll be
on top,
like,
well,
yeah.
for one, it looks bad for
The
there's
company.
bad relationship with the company, and
Yeah.
also like it's kind of terrible thing to do as well.
Yeah,
Like,
that's it. Just money under the
personally.
counter, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I like to be upfront with that
Yeah.
shit.
Well, 100%. And that's the thing as well. It's all about building a good rapport. Like, you got to have good relations with the company, with the business, with whatever. Whoever's booking you, they're the one feeding you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's the
pretty
thing, like, you can go off and get your own gigs, but the thing is, if you work for a company, I've had friends ask me this as well. It's like,
Yeah.
why don't you start your own business? You know, or your own function company or your
Yeah.
own entertainment. I always find it kind of easier because then you don't have to worry about the relations. It's just people go, you know, the company will go, okay, you know, there's a gig here.
Yeah.
Are you available? You go, yes. And
Yeah.
then you go
Yeah.
out and do the gig and that's it. You send
Yeah.
an invoice and that's it.
Yeah,
And, like,
you
well,
focus on the music.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
you
it.
know?
like,
Yeah.
we've been in a position of being the bookers and sorting out gigs for other DJs, and we've had that role. And like what we've done is taken a massive step back over the last year and a bit, and build that role back in as like now we're just DJing again, rather than having the whole network on top of us and you know other people looking for us for you know for food in the mouth sort of stuff. So,
Exactly, yeah.
you know, obviously there's a responsibility there, and you know we do our best to fulfill that. But and now with the bookings that we have got going on now, it's like you know we're ready to you know
That's
kind of
it.
like look forward and going back into that.
Well, that's the thing as well. That's the way to do it. Is like you get so busy that you can't do all the work, and then you can kind of start going, okay, I'll get you involved.
Well,
and
that's essentially what's happening
Yeah.
because you know we're booked. I'm booked out with you know most weekends with Sky, and then you know I've got my bookings on top of that, and then the bookings that I'm getting on top of that are now you know could start conflicting. So you know I need to start.
There's only so many
timing those up.
Fridays and Saturdays that each DJ has, and I think
Yeah.
I think the
That's
way to do it in Perth is to make mates with as many guys as you can that can cover it. Because if you cover a gig for them, they cover
Yeah.
a gig for you, and then
100%.
between all of you, you can cover it.
That's it. It's just
you
a
know?
good rapport. That's it. It's just like being on good terms, and you know, just making sure everyone gets a gig kind of
Yeah,
thing, and
for
everyone
sure.
gets work. 'Cause-
Yeah.
And that's just it. Like with you know a lot of in the earlier days we were just like we're just club single genre DJs. Like obviously we had we started house parties and then we're like no we want to you know
So many people rocked up to house parties that
Yeah.
weren't invited and shit like that. We're like,
So-
"Ooh, where's a place that will like actually appreciate us bringing heaps and heaps of people?
Yeah.
Clubs."
and
That's
then
it, pubs,
you know
bars,
we
and
made the
clubs.
switch to like you know being single genre DJs and then like neglecting house parties and like weddings and all that because we're just like no we want to go down this route and now we're at a position and like of age and being around long enough that you know like the 1 to 2 hour sets or even 3 hour club sets you know in a single genre may only happen once a fortnight or even once a month and that's not sustainable.
That's
like
it,
you know
yeah.
if you want the longevity in this business so
Yeah, or even if you want to do if you want to do it full time, if you don't want to do anything else, then you got to do all those commercial gigs to
That's
supplement it.
and like that's the thing like with the skills that you learn from doing commercial music and those like sort of side gigs and all that sort of stuff like those skills translate straight into, you know, your single genre, you know, pumping like 2-hour sets, because, you know, you know how to fit a lot of music into a short amount of time and a long period of time, you know, and you know, so like I've got a gig coming up next month, I think, and I'm playing at Air Nightclub.
Oh really?
Yeah, so playing at Air Nightclub for Future Fridays.
Yeah.
Future Fridays, alright.
Yeah, so I think that's like
So make sure you guys come.
Yeah, midnight till 1:30.
Everyone come if you're watching.
Yeah, midnight to 1:30. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the set time. Let me just find the date.
Still, that's awesome.
Which is so awesome because I spoke about it last time as well. It's like Rise is the first place that I was told go and buy a set of decks and do the DJing. It was another DJ from the Rise that told me
Friday
that.
The 17th
that's a lot
of
to do.
September.
You know?
That is Friday the 17th of September.
Fuck
But
yeah.
and so like I'll be basically revisiting my sort of like
Roots, pretty much.
Well, EDM days with when we were doing Flirt.
Mm.
You know, like we were doing R&B bounce with Flirt. So starting off with R&B and commercial, and then moving into Melbourne Bounce and Big Room and house music. So, but yeah, so I've been booked for that, and yeah, that's genre specific sort of set that I'm like,
You actually get to like, you know, you really appreciate those.
Yeah,
More
for sure.
more so. Not that you don't appreciate the other gigs, but you really appreciate the ones where you can go and do your thing, like genre wise. You get to go and dabble in.
Well, it's like it's actually like just being the artist, you know, like being an artist. It's like artist sets rather than the job, you know.
That's
so like,
exactly,
and that's it. And like both aspects is freaking enjoyable. But yeah, you know, like I love it all, every genre. Like it's amazing, and that's why I've been a genre hopping DJ. Like
there's so many people that just
format.
stick to one genre, and it's like it's not a bad thing because you can really be good at drum and bass or techno or house or this or that.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is. I've just found that if you can play multiple genres, then you can play any genre. Because that's the thing is like
then you can sustain DJing as a full time thing.
And
unless you're Tiesto or
that's
whatever, like a big name with a lot of production behind you.
That's exactly
and
that's where it comes from. It's producing.
If you're like me, I've got the week free now to work on music and stuff like that. You know, you've got a couple of days during the week. I mean, I know like people like yourself study and stuff, but if you're doing enough and you're sustaining your income by like working at least a gig a week or something like that, you've got the week free to
do whatever.
Yeah, because like my schedule's like hectic because like I'm playing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yes,
so
full time.
Yeah, like it's like full-time job doing this, you know. I've obviously got the afternoons and mornings free, depending on how late I play, but it's, you know, I've got time to spend with my mates during that time if they're not working or but I also have time to basically, you know, do my admin invoices. I've also got time to do song track research, you know, work on my own music.
Pretty much all that stuff that nobody sees.
Yeah, all that
behind the scenes
stuff,
that we do, you know what I mean?
That's exactly it, behind the scenes shit.
Yeah.
Like, is it Harrison that had like a photo or something of like, shout outs to Flash Cult Harrison. He's like, had like a photo, it's like, tune sort, and it's like a really scattered, like, you know, when you're like going through organizing your folders and things like that.
I've seen that.
Yeah, he's got a really good one. He's like, I showed it how, and it's like, it looks like everybody else's. Like the way you're, you know, when you sort it out, you're like, you know, when you've got that 140, like, I will sort this later.
Yeah.
He's got one of them, but there's like heaps of different ones, and it's like,
see, that's what's kind of exciting as well for me. It's because a mate of mine has just given me 86 gigabytes of his music.
So you can
So
sort
I
that
gotta
out.
sort all of that out. There's so many duplicates, but the thing is, it's just like, I can't wait to find the gold in there kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's going to take me hours, but
see, that's
part of the
other
job.
weird thing about like sharing, you know, sharing music. Like, it's good in a way to like share, you know, your crates and all that sort of stuff. But you know, then you might get like oversaturated. Like, you know, some companies have the same, like, they use the same record pool, but then they get booked at multiple venues on the same strip or whatever, and then every fucking venue is playing the same music.
That's it.
And
that's
like,
why
and you know, so
that.
early on in the same, like, I'm guilty of it too. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm a part of that fucking nonsense as well. But
I've
you know,
really
but
feel
back in the day, it was like every single venue you go to was something different, like different music, different genres. You know, some were underground, some weren't, and that was crazy. You know, and like that was it. It's like, oh, I feel like drum and bass tonight. You go to that drum and bass club, and then you're like, actually, you know, I want to switch to like techno. I want to switch to you know, like I want to go see a rock band, and like doing that.
That's the sad thing about movement shutting, isn't it?
Literally crawling through Northbridge, going venue to venue to venue, like experiencing multiple different aspects of music, and that still happens to an extent. But a lot of the clubs nowadays are playing same sort of commercial music, and
That's it, yeah.
you know, and it's like, yeah, some are successful, some aren't, and they're like, why, what's happening? It's like, this
Well,
is the reason.
that-
There's no buy-in.
That's
Sad, eh? But never mind.
yeah.
Go
Well,
on.
they're picking up moving somewhere though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually
It
are
just
moving somewhere.
like for that, like what you're saying, like that was a place I didn't go there often, but it's a place you knew that you could go and get good house music. Like,
That's exactly it. Yeah.
you know, and then like he was saying, like, you know, there's other places where you can go in and listen to good drum and bass music, and there's other places where if you just want to hear like commercial pub tunes.
That's
But
it.
when you take away out a couple of these places that oh, Chris Allwood, how you going? You know, when you take a couple of these places out of the scene, there is a hole there, and
That's
we
exactly
we
it.
might take steps backwards instead of forwards. You know.
Well, here,
Yeah,
this is
but
a
it's
good.
constantly evolving. It's good.
That's it, and it's always changing. This is a good topic. What do you guys think about edits?
Edits.
You don't like it?
No, it's.
I'm sensing some hostility in you.
Yeah.
No, so-
what do you think
What
about
the
edits?
fuck is
Okay.
your problem, Alex?
No. The only a guy I know who's going to come on here eventually, right? He made a very good point about it. If you're playing on 2 CDJs, then how do you do a mashup? Because you can't. You got one song playing, you're bringing another song in,
Yeah.
right? But then obviously, if you got 3 decks or 4 decks, it's harder to do on CDJs. But I mean, for me with Tractor, like almost every second song, I'll just throw something in there because I get bored and I'm like, just fiddle through. I'm like, yeah, I'll just throw some vocals in here or do this or do that. But I do mashups on the fly. I don't pre-record any edits or mashups or anything like that. But I mean, you do have edits where it's like they'll grab the original track and throw some jazz in there, or they'll speed it up, or they'll make it more electro, which is good. I really, really do like that kind of stuff because it puts a refresher on, you know, classic tracks and stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel like, you know, the only reason why I kind of brought it up is that I feel like a lot of DJs in Perth all share the same edit packs almost.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And then the thing is that is like goes back to what we were saying before about being commercial in a way. It's like if everyone's playing the same edits, the same music, the same thing, it's just recycling. But you got to like put
So,
your
like,
own
that
spin on it.
That comes down to like, you know, like it's I don't mind using edits. I prefer to make my own mashups and my own edits.
But-
Sometimes like someone else can do a freaking better job, and like, you know, so they're tools to use. It's just like any other song.
Most of the edits that we use as staple in our sets are just like the original version of the song with a slight variation
Yeah.
and an intro beat, so you can actually, rather than bringing in, let's say, get low with the 5 seconds you get,
That's it, yeah.
it adds on enough time so that when you like sort of, you can hear the of the like get low getting ready to come in for that, just that little bit longer on the transition.
Yeah.
And then that we've got that really good twerk
Yeah.
like version of that. Like we have edits that are like very close to the original, just a slight sort of variation with an extended drum loop.
see,
I love them.
reckon
I
that
love
stuff-
them.
that
But there's not
stuff's all
enough.
fine.
Yeah, there's not enough of those out there though,
That's
is there?
exactly it, yeah.
And so like
That's exactly it.
and so the edits that I use are like have been specifically shared with only like maybe 3 people, you know.
Yeah.
So like, and they're either in a different country or over the other side of over the other side. You
But
know?
that's what I find so whack sometimes, because I mean, like Perth is so small, but then like you go to one club and you hear this, and you go to the other club and you hear the exact same thing,
Yeah.
and it's the exact same edit. And obviously, like, you know, they might be mates or they might be part of a pool and they're sharing it, this
Yeah.
and that. But it's like when we get paid to be a DJ or an artist or a producer or something like that, people go to your sets, or they might go to a bar and notice your set because you're being unique and you're doing this and you're doing that.
Yeah.
It's like what I've said on the last couple of podcasts as well. It's like, you know, I'll put a song on, then I'll run to the bar and get 2 shots of tequila, run back to the DJ booth, play the tequila song, and people see it's like, okay, where the fuck's the DJ going?
Yeah.
Okay, he's going back, he's just got 2 shots or something. Tequila song comes on. Okay, tequila.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, he's kind of cool. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's the interaction.
Yeah.
It's
It's a tool. They're tools
Like-
to use. Like
Yeah,
obviously,
that's it,
if you
yeah.
fill your whole set with them,
yeah.
it's like can be a bit much.
Like when it's raining and you play a song about raining,
That's
and then
exactly
someone
it.
looks at you and goes, I see what you
Yeah,
did.
well,
I
I do that all the time.
those kind of moments. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. You know what I
The
mean?
thing
Yeah,
that-
for
the-
sure.
Yeah. So the thing that you kind of can get stitched up with is using edits is that you're limited. Like it can limit you during your sets as well, because you're moving through a certain track and it's like it may not fit the vibe where that drops. You know, so you're not. It kind of alleviates control of the mixing on the night, so to speak. Because if you've got a mashup that, you know, builds and then drops into another one, like, or drops into a different genre, for instance, it may not work across through like that transition may not actually work on that night.
That's
Yet
it.
you're locked into using that that sort of thing, because you're like, oh yeah, that might work, and then all of a sudden they're kind of not feeling the initial start of that, and you're like, you're kind of locked into it.
But that's
and then
exactly
trying to
it.
mix on top of somebody else's mashup to get out of it quickly.
Yeah.
is like, you know, you kind of stitch yourself
Can't really
up.
mix a mashup into a mashup sometimes,
Yeah,
hey?
that's
Yeah.
So like there's like downfalls to using them, but there are a time and a place for sure.
Exactly.
And like
yeah.
you said, like, you know, when you only got 2 CDJs.
Yeah, what can you do?
Yeah, like you can mix quickly and mix fast, and you know, layer 2 songs over, and then, you know, drop one out and then quickly move the next. Like, you know, there's multiple layering techniques within that. But yeah, for sure.
But
Like,
that's
they've
it.
got their place,
But
you know?
that's the thing, though. Is like if you go and make a song that's like 9 minutes long, it goes over 3 songs, and it's like, is that a toilet song, or is that you just kind of
Yeah,
being
Purple
lazy?
Rain's a good one for a toilet song.
Purple Rain
Purple
by-
Rain
by Prince.
Yeah, that's like
Nah,
that's like
Blue
a 10-minute
Monday,
song.
New Order.
That's
Oh,
like a 10-minute
that's-
song. Hang on.
Actually, that's the one I showed you at Bar.
Yeah, what are
remember?
your toilet songs? So Purple
What's
Rain.
your Purple Rain?
Okay, so for me, it will be Blue Monday, New Order. It will be anything literally
What's the
over
length? That's
4.5
7
minutes.
minutes.
I like
actually,
Pump It
5
by the
minutes.
Blink,
That's
by the
8
Black Eyed
minutes
Peas because it's a
Really?
5-minute track, so that gives you enough time.
Really?
Mm.
But that's like, you got to be there for that.
Oh, no,
Pump It. You got
Purple
to
Rain's like a
mellow.
number 2.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything that has anything at 3 minutes isn't going to cut it.
That's it,
It's
yeah.
between
Yeah,
depending on how
that's
far
a
the
big
toilet
shit
is.
out of
Yeah, that's exactly yeah.
You know.
You gotta go.
That's it. Like, I mean, if you're a girl, you got to go to the toilet more often, so you got to have more longer tracks,
No,
right?
but like, I can get my toilet breaks in like in under a minute.
If you're really good, you can leave the
Yeah.
2 songs. Like if you're really good, you can leave the. You know when you leave the 2 songs transitioning
Yeah.
as you walk away.
Yeah.
You know that it's so on.
Don't
and
even
so
know.
you've got the 1 minute intro, like the outro of the mixing, as well as the 4 minutes of the new song.
See, Tractor's got a really cool feature. Right?
That's
They've
wild,
actually got an
bro.
autoplay
I've
button.
only done it a few times, but you know when it's really on point. You know when it's really on point, you can just walk
Yeah.
away and just let that song
There's
finish,
that.
and the new one will drop. You know you've done that transition so many times.
Yeah.
You know you can go to the toilet. And fucking, I've only done it a couple times, but it's
Fucking wild.
it's almost like a magic trick, isn't
It's
it?
like, yeah, exactly. It's like Russian roulette.
That's the funny thing as well. It's like I've done. It's not the wrong thing, but like at Scarborough Beach Bar, right? Once I actually, because the Tractor's got like an autoplay function, so when it hits the end of the song, right, then you can see the faders on the computer. It'll just go like that,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I've actually gone to go to the toilet, and it's like, okay, I might have enough time. Run off, right, and then
And then
the
all of a sudden,
next song starts playing,
auto mix.
and then the manager's just like,
Hang on.
yeah. Where have you been? Like, why is the next song on? Like,
Yeah,
it's
I'm glad he does that trick too.
because then it's like, it's just magic. Don't worry about it. Like,
Yeah.
is he actually DJing?
Yeah, so that's one good thing about festivals though, is like sometimes they put like portaloos like right on the like corner of
Really?
the stages and shit.
I'm not
So you can like
surprised.
literally just go in and out and like
Yeah.
you don't have to run through
How
the
much
crowd
time we
or,
got,
like-
Damo?
We got 3 more minutes.
Okay, can I
Yeah,
quickly
we've got
promo a big event that I have coming
we've
up?
got
Is that
like
okay?
10 minutes, yeah.
We got some shit lined up. All right, we
Oh.
got
Got
this
some
guy's
shit.
song, and we got Tim Preston's doing event.
Oh yeah, I got a song to show.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
You-
your new
you go
remix.
first, you
Your
go
new
first,
remix.
you go
Yeah.
first.
But please
Yeah.
hit us with your Tim Preston.
Yeah, so
Preston event.
really exciting stuff. So a lot of the guys I played with over in Melbourne are coming over to Perth for the Liquid County Music Festival.
Fuck yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm lucky to be on the local lineup for that on the first day, and then on the
Oh,
second day
yeah.
for the underage event, I'm doing main stage.
Fuck
So if you want to try and
yeah.
load up the Liquid Candy,
Oh, that's what Will
really?
Sparks
face,
stuff, right?
yeah, Will Sparks, Stafford
Oh.
Brothers.
I thought that's already happened.
So it got delayed. It may get delayed again depending on acts, but a lot of people who bought their tickets, this is what's great, is people buying faith now, knowing that when the event happens, it'll be awesome.
Well, you got Slumberjack.
Yeah, so Slumberjack, Will
Who
Sparks,
else? Who else? There's
Billionaire.
quite a few names.
mtix.me/Tim
Oh, you
Preston.
got Brooklyn. You got Bombs Away.
mtix.me/Tim Preston. I'll put a link in the comment later to get yourself discounted tickets using my link.
Tina Say, Stafford Brothers, Slice and Dice, Bajillionaire.
And Bombs Away. I've played with Slice and Dice before, but yeah, I've played with a lot of these guys, Will Sparks and Joel. It'll be so awesome to see them again in Perth, my hometown, representing a bit of Melbourne bounce, you know?
Yeah, it'll be so
Joel
good to see
Fletcher's
those
is
guys.
huge as well, wasn't he? Joel Fletcher used to be massive back in that.
Oh, yeah.
He
Yeah,
still is though, right?
yeah, I've played with so many parties with him, man. He's such a legend, and, you know,
I
been...
think you got a bot there, bro.
But, yeah. So that'll be awesome. I'm really looking forward to that when it finally happens. You know, I think it's the second festival in Perth now, but the first time I actually get to play all the music that we were playing when we were in Melbourne, you know?
Just quickly as well, I just wanted to ask, like, what do you guys think that's going to happen in a way? Because I think the next 2-3 years, then we'll be back to what we used to be.
You reckon?
Maybe. Like, look what's happened on the East Coast again. And, like, Australia is, like, we're so lucky to have locked down and be so far from the rest of the world. But like the hospitality industry, it's struggling. Like
Yeah, I would be so screwed if I was just doing like food still.
yeah. That's
Like-
it. Like I'm not. Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing as well. I was talking to my parents about this. They reckon the construction industry is going to go down next year. They reckon that's going to
I
struggle.
doubt that.
I
I doubt
fucking
that 100%.
doubt that, bro.
You reckon?
So,
I
like,
mean,
you look at all the new
I
housing incentives and new housing
Yeah.
developments. Like my, you know, like I've got mates that have like recently jumped on board with that, and yeah, they're like looking at like two years on a wait list for their house to be built,
Okay.
which is crazy. Like,
Yeah, 2 years.
so you know, with some developers, man, it's so stretched out. Like, and I've got mates that are builders, brickies, and sparkies, and they're just like, my prices are up, and I am cruising like.
Everything's,
Fuck,
like,
okay.
double
And the
to
thing,
what
and the
it
thing
is.
is like the
Oh,
work
shit.
that they do, like it's outside. They don't, so they can social distance. So like when
essential
we're in
services.
lockdowns, it's essential service.
Mm.
So they can still go to work. You know, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
tree lop. So when I work with a tree lopping, like 2 tree lopping companies. When we're in lockdown, then I can't can't work, and
Yeah.
so that's accurate stump grinding, and also bad monkey trees. So those 2 companies that I do, a bit of work for when it's down.
Well, I think if we get too deep into all that stuff, man, the world is just. I mean, for the biggest thing
We
for
don't
me
have time
is
for conspiracy.
no, the
theories.
biggest
That's it.
I
the
would
biggest thing
love
I don't
to-
like.
I'd love
I
to
don't
do a
like. I'll just keep it
conspiracy.
short. Is the division. I don't like the division that everything has been created. Like
Yeah.
the division between people.
Yeah.
I want to see unity and everything.
That's
Stop
it.
Stop
Yeah.
social distancing and start socially hugging
Accepting.
each
I
other.
don't know.
Yeah, that's
Well, I used to have a friend that used to say, "Share the love."
Share the
Yeah,
love.
sure.
That's
Like,
it.
It's a catchline.
Peace,
Catchphrase.
love, unity,
Share the love
respect.
around. Share it all around.
Yeah, I can back that.
Alright, well, let's and with that, let's end this podcast on that note with playing 4UK's new remix. However,
Which you played at a party recently, and it went off really well. I was running around telling everyone, "Hey, this is my friend's song. This is my friend's song."
I don't have anything to plug really.
We ended on that beautiful
Yeah,
note.
we'll end
Share
it.
love.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Alright,
share the love,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, let me know in the comments what you
And
think
I
of it.
shared these, or I shared Liquid Candy Festival. On
That's
the,
it. And
Yeah, I'll put another ticket link to get you cheaper tickets, but that's definitely the link for more info for the acts. Thanks, mate. Yeah.
Thanks so much. And then
Shout out to 4UK.
shout out to 4UK. Shout out to
And thanks
Tim
heaps for the Infra-Red podcast. You
Yeah.
guys are legends. Thank you so much for having us back.
Yeah.
Don't forget to wave.
Yeah, you guys
Don't
come
forget
back.
the way.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll never forget going to we were at the tunnel rave by the Soon crew.
Oh,
And
yeah.
And I remember Tim, you were hammered, and you just came up to me and you were like, "Bro, I feel like I know you. I feel like you know you my whole life."
Oh,
yeah.
I
And
remember
I'm like,
that.
"Oh, you're
Yeah.
Tim. You're the guy who comments every time." I was like, "Oh fuck, I finally met him."
Yeah, because I'd never actually met you, but I'd watched so many podcasts. I felt like I knew you, and then because you know a lot of people that I know, it just
Oh,
Yeah, it
every
just-
time you commented, I was like, I feel like I knew you.
yeah, there you go. yeah.
I've never known
Small
your face,
world,
but
right?
I know your written language, and that's so close.
Yeah, we just got Perth.
We got
Yeah.
Perth, bro.
Yeah.
We got
Perth.
But yeah, and I never forget what you said to me. It's like, "What'd you do with the wave? Gotta bring back the wave." I'm like, "Thank you so much for backing me up." I gotta say,
Yeah,
No, it's
I
true.
wanted to get rid of it.
No, it's true because it does signify that's the end.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it.
Exactly.
That's
and then Alex,
exactly.
you came by, and I remember just running up to you, being like, "Alex, we're bringing it back."
I was like, all right, fine, bring back the wave.
And,
And the wave is back.
We want to do a Mexican one this time.
Yeah, Mexican wave.
All right, so this track, what is it? Chris Lake, 4UK remix?
Yeah. Turn off the lights.
Pretty spicy.
It's pretty spicy. It's kind of a genre hopping one as well, so it's like tech house and dub. So,
Yep.
yeah.
You turn off what you're playing.
Yep, of course.
So do we wave when the outro starts on the
When
song,
we
or
have some stars, yeah.
Yeah.
Stars, but,
let us know? Let us know.
Yeah, let's not edit.
Yeah, we're on for it. We just need to make sure that we got.
Yeah.
We are ready. Crank this.
Cameras?
We'll see you next week.
The microphones are now off.
See it. Future Fridays and Liquid Candy.
honest.